Alright, hello guys. Today we're going to be talking about our first named winter storm of the season, Winter Storm Avery. It's going to be bringing ice to a lot of areas as well as very heavy snow to a few areas. But before I get started with the video, I would ask that you do subscribe if you do like weather-related content, and also make sure to like this video if you do like this video. Let's get right into it. Looking at the GFS, which is kind of what we're going to use for our future cast here until we get to short range, I'm going to be updating on this storm in the next couple of days, and I'll be using much higher resolution models to be forecasting then. But we're going to have to settle for the GFS at this point because short range models are not very accurate within, longer than 24 hours out. Once we're within 24 hours, there will be a much higher resolution forecast and a much more accurate forecast out. This is a really good preliminary forecast though, and typically these are very accurate as well. Now, starting on the first hour here on the GFS, we see that ice precipitation start to move into North Carolina and Virginia. You might have seen some snowfall forecasts bringing, very heavy snow, lots of snow there. For those areas, lots of people were using models that were showing that, and that's just not the case. If they, the only way you would see that is if you're not really looking at the soundings and not paying attention to the different layers of the atmosphere. Now, there's a lot of layers above freezing, which tells me sleet and freezing rain is going to be the most likely outcome for those areas. Now, you're noticing that snow for Missouri, southern Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, portions of Arkansas that is. We're really going to be looking at 1 to 3 inches for this area. I think a lot of areas, though, in a specific portion of Tennessee, Kentucky, Missouri, Illinois, there will be approaching 3 inches or maybe get a little bit over it. So we're going to watch that carefully. So we move on 1 more hour. You see that heavy rain move into the Virginia and North Carolina, specifically the coastal regions. That's where our low pressure system looks to track over. And we see that snow move from Tennessee and Kentucky all the way up to Illinois, Indiana, and northern Ohio. Again, 1 to 3 inches, maybe some areas getting above that. Now we see that mixed precipitation move into Pennsylvania. I think a lot of that on the northern end will be snow, and a lot of that on the southern end might be a little bit of a icy mix or some sort of rain-snow mix. It really just depends. And we're seeing a lot of that ice still in Virginia and West Virginia. That's going to be in the form of freezing rain, most likely. We'll move on another hour. We see that heavy rain move offshore, according to the GFS, and some backband snow there for North Carolina, Virginia. It shows a little bit in Kentucky and Tennessee. I think this will mostly be closer to Virginia and North Carolina with these snow showers. Also, Michigan getting in some of those snow showers as well. And we see that mix kind of alleviate there in Pennsylvania and really leads to more snow than rain, whereas we see a lot more of those blues pop up. Again, this is a really low resolution model, so it kind of it likes to average things out. So it most likely won't be this much mixing going on. It's trying to pinpoint where the area is, and it's having a little bit of trouble just because of how low resolution it is. We also are seeing this snow move into upstate New York and also northern Connecticut, as well as southern Connecticut getting a mix. I think you guys will start out as snow, though, for sure. I think this is a much warmer solution. Also, I think New York City is going to start out as snow as well for a portion. And as we move on 1 more hour, we see this is late Thursday night, we have that all snow move into Pennsylvania and a lot of snow for Virginia and West Virginia moving in here in the later portions of the storm. Also, upstate New York is all snow at this point. I think this is around when New York City is going to start mixing over maybe to sleet or rain, as well as Boston, probably a little less snow there at this point, but I think you'll be split in half at this point. That's 3 a.m. Friday. And as we head into the morning of Friday, this is about 9 a.m., we see most of that snow is in upstate New York. And again, a lot of mix in Pennsylvania, though I think that northern portion will be snow where you see those darker pinks. I think that'll be more snow than rain for sure. Also, a lot of New Hampshire and Vermont and western Massachusetts getting in some of that heavier snow, still haven't mixed over. And all of Maine, it looks like, is also snow. And Maine looks to stay snow as we move on to Friday afternoon, as well as the northern 2/3 of Vermont and New Hampshire. You're still snow, and we see that start to move out. Some snow showers still lingering by Saturday or Friday evening, but it's not going to be anything too heavy, and that's going to still be there, maybe by that night. Some snow showers lingering in the area, but it shouldn't be too widespread. Now, we're going to look at my snowfall total here. Now, notice we'll work our way from west to east. We have that 1 to 3 inch area for Tennessee, Kentucky, northern Arkansas, Missouri, southern Illinois, all of Indiana, southern Michigan, almost all of Ohio, most of West Virginia, portions of Virginia and North Carolina. And then we have that 3 to 6 inch area that kind of takes over some of Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, and that really moves into Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Virginia. We'll get more on those eastern areas in just a second, but I don't think that will be as widespread as it looks on this map. I just wanted to put that just so you guys know that I think that there will be a few areas in there that pick up 3 to 6, or there will be a band that sets up somewhere in there that brings a lot of areas above 3 inches. I think it'll be on the lower end of the 3 to 6 for sure. Also, I wanted to mention there will be a 3 to 6 area, I think, in West Virginia and Virginia, that border, heading into Maryland and then up into Pennsylvania. So that'll be mostly in the high elevation areas. Could be a little bit under 3 inches, but I think we'll get over for those areas at least. So notice these aren't anywhere near as high as the totals that we saw on the models the other day that people were sharing, like the FV3 GFS. And that's because I think that there was a big glitch in the layers of the atmosphere there, and it was picking up a lot of sleet, and it was trying to show it as snow. That was the problem. Now, we see that 3 to 6 inch mark move through Pennsylvania, kind of from the York County area up into maybe just north of the northwestern portion of New Jersey into the Catskill Mountains, and we see that river valley in there. That's where the Hudson River moves up through New York, and that's where I really think we'll have low elevation, so we're going to see 1 to 3 inches, maybe some more mixing in those areas sooner. Also, that heads into Connecticut, Rhode Island, and southern Massachusetts. That's where we'll all see 1 to 3 inches. Now, 3 to 6 inches is going to be from those areas northwest. So, Catskill Mountains over to the northwestern portion of Connecticut, where we have some higher elevations. You're probably going to get over 3 inches. Now, all of New Hampshire is going to be over 3 inches, I believe. Most of Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, areas like that, all of upstate New York as well, all of Maine, all of Vermont. And then we have that 6 to 10 inch area. Now that's going to take over the State College area of Pennsylvania. And that's going to move all the way up into the central upstate New York area. And it's going to move through and take over most of Vermont, though I think it'll kind of cut it in half, though I have a more low resolution forecast right now. I think we'll lower the radius of this area a bit as we move on to the next forecast, but it's going to set up somewhere in here, as well as the western and northern areas of New Hampshire, so from Keene all the way up to Conway and to Berlin to their north, the White Mountains, all in that 6 to 10 as well. Mostly the high elevation areas will probably be closer to that 10 inch mark. I might have to add the 10 to 15 mark somewhere in these areas in that darker blue color. There might be an area where I think they will get 10 inches plus, but right now we're going to stay on the more conservative side and say 6 to 10. Also, central Maine, this area has been getting a lot of snowstorms lately, and I think you're going to be in that 6 to 10 again. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, I will be updating this forecast in the coming probably 1 or 2 days. Most likely tomorrow, though. I will be updating this forecast. Anyway, I hope you guys really enjoyed this one. I'll see you guys later.